Good morning, everybody. What we're doing today is pretty simple. I'm going to walk you through the Nearpod, so that way you have everything that you need in order to complete this assignment. It should not take you super long. Again, I will be on Google Meets if you have questions, but for the most part, this is your assignment for today. So, as you can see, I do post an announcement every day. But I want to make sure that you guys are going into the Nearpod every single day and clicking the poll question. If you don't answer the poll question, you were not there. So I want to make sure that your attendance is solid and that I can make sure I can put the attendance in as needed. So first thing I want you to do is go to Classwork. And this isn't scheduled till 11 o'clock, but it's up for me. You guys won't see this until 11, but you should already be seeing it. Anyway, I do always put what I want you to do as a number bulleted guide here. So go to the Nearpod, make sure you answer the poll question for attendance, watch the video of me going through the lesson, which you're doing right now, and then complete the coding challenge and turn in your screenshot. So lastly, complete this reflection at the very end. So we're going to go to the Nearpod real quick. So this is loading, and as always, it's going to ask you for your name. When you put your name, do not just put Alex. Do not just put Emily. Do your entire name. So if I wanted to put my name, I'm going to put the entire thing. So that way, when I'm doing attendance, I will not mark you here unless your whole name, because there are multiples of most of you guys in this class. So if there are multiple angels, if there are multiple, you can even put the last initial, but I need your full name. Next, so what we're doing today is modeling and simulation. So we're doing a conditional branching. The stuff that we did yesterday was all part of what we're doing today. So make sure you know how to log on to StoreNova because you're going to need it today. You can make sure you push submit. Don't just skip it. All right, so what we're doing today, comparing solutions. We are going to use some computer science concepts called conditionals. So if then else. So if something happens, then something else is going to happen. If I throw a rock into a puddle of water, then there's going to be ripples, right? So these are conditions. These are called Boolean statements. This is a coding term. This is a programming term. It just evaluates whether something's true or something's not true. If it's not true, it won't happen, or depending on what you're coded. If it's true, then certain things are going to happen. At least that's what's going to be today. So, moving on. These are your new blocks that you're going to need. You're going to need an if statement that you're going to find in logic. You're going to need a color statement. That's going to be in traits. You're going to be terrain color. That's going to be environment. And we're finally going to need this little equal sign, which again is in logic. So those are your 4 blocks that you're going to need today. Now, you're not going to be able to click on this link. I would be, but you're not. So just make sure that you go to the next slide after we're done with this. So we're going to start an already created program. It's something that the company that uses StarLogoNova has done for you. So you're going to click on the paint landmarks. It's a new button that you're going to see and see the program execute the code provided. Do not change the code in paint landmarks. That's really important. Read the project, add your name, or remix the project, add your name, and then now we're going to actually do the challenge, which is to make the turtles react to the landmarks created by the paint landmarks button. So it's just like we did yesterday on the paper. So here we go, and it's popping up as we speak. So mine already popped up. You may have to click on it, but here we are. So we are in, this is what should pop up. You'll see that you're logged in. If you're not logged in and you see login up here, click it, log in, so you can actually do what I'm about to do on this program. So it gives you directions here on what you're doing. So this is a starter program for bumper turtles. It contains a procedure of landmarks. We've talked about that just a second ago. Remix and rename this project. So if I wanted to see what this does first, I'm going to click my Run Code button. Then I'm going to click Paint Landmarks. You'll see that all these landmarks. If I zoom in, if it'll let me, it's not letting me, but you'll notice that there's black, there's blue, and there's red, just like yesterday's paper that I gave you. So if I click Forever and push Set Up, now I actually have these turtles here. So I just need to run the code. So let's set up, and it should work. I'm not sure why this isn't running right now. But these turtles are going to react to the environment. It might be because it's not fully completed. So what we're going to do is we are going to remix it. So we're going to click on Remix right up here. When you click Remix, you're going to need to give it a name or an additional name. So instead of all of this, I'm going to put my name at the front. Right? So now I have my name along with it. And I can go all the way down. Now, if you remember me saying, do not change paint landmarks, but you see this button. We'll learn how to create buttons later, but they've already created this button for you. So when paint landmarks is pushed, it's going to do all of these things. So ultimately what it's doing is it's making a bunch of turtles that create all of these stamps, these marks in the space on this terrain. And then at the very end of them, it says delete everyone. And then when setup is pressed, delete everybody. So it's deleting all of these paint landmark turtles and then create 4 new ones. So here we go. So I click setup. Now I have these 4 turtles all in the same space. And I click forever and run code. And my turtles still aren't going to do anything because we haven't done that part yet. So the world, don't change anything in here. Now we're going to go to turtle. And we're actually going to make these turtles do something for us. So I am not going to give you all of the answers here. I'm going to give you some of the answers and you have to figure out the rest. That's important. So here we go. So our first thing that we're going to do is while forever is toggled and they already give you this block, we are going to grab this if statement. Okay? So if something happens. Now if you remember what your paper said yesterday, and that paper for the, let me go to it real quick. Hold on. So if we look at Trailblazer, let me type it up so I can see it. Now we have it. And if we remember what we did on this paper, then we have, if you're standing on a red, it's going to turn right by 90 degrees. If you're standing on a blue, it's going to turn left by 90 degrees. And if you're standing on a black, it's going to turn by 180 degrees. What I want you guys to do is if you can take a screenshot of this so you remember what it looks like, at least the directions, and you can remember which direction it's supposed to go. So if you take a quick screenshot by Control and the switch window button, which is the box, and the box with the lines, which looks like, is it on here? No, it's this one, but it's not showing me the whole thing. But use that to take a picture of our lovely, wrong one, directions. So do that real quick. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is if terrain color. So we need if terrain color equals. So we need this equal sign. So if something is the same, that's the Boolean. So if it's true, something's going to happen. So if terrain color is blue, right? We need to do one of two things. We either need to go forward, or we need to turn left, or we need to turn right. So if it's blue, if we remember what it said, if you are standing on blue square, then turn left by 90 degrees. So we're going to make that turn left by 90 degrees. Okay? Now, the entire time we're doing this, we're always moving forward. So we can move forward by however many you want. I'm going to do 2. So we're going to move forward by 2. Now, if you really wanted to get creative, you could go down to, is it traits? Nope. It should be. I was looking for the random one, but if I'm not going to find it right off the bat, then if I find it later, I'll use it later. But you could always use a random one in here. It might be the math one. I didn't even think of that. Random. So if I wanted to throw a random in there, I could just do like move randomly 1 through 5, and then it's going to move on its own. So this is part of it. That's your first part of your code. Now, if you can do this part, you can also do what happens when you hit a red one, what happens when you hit a black one. And you're always going to have this forward down at the bottom. So what I want you guys to do, remember that the if statement is under logic. Okay? That's your if statement. The equal sign is also under logic. So if it equals blue, that blue one, so I can change this to any color I want, that one is under traits. So color, and you can choose your random color, right? So, and then turn left by 90 degrees, that's under movement. All right, so right and left, forward. So I want you to finish this with the other two. So we have a red and a black, and then that's pretty much it. And then you can watch it and make it move around, and you'll see that it actually starts. Set up, run code. Okay, so you'll see that it has to hit exactly on the blue for it to really, really work. So you'll see that one just did it right here, and you'll probably see it again. You'll see these start moving around, but it has to be like right in the center of the turtle. So anyway, that's what we're doing with this one. As, again, your partial solution. So this gives you a little bit more information than what I just gave you. So go ahead and screenshot it so you can do the rest on your own. And finally, make sure, for one, you turn it in and make sure you do the reflection. But what could these trails and bumpers represent in bumper turtles? So if we did another one that was a bumper turtle model, and sorry, I was thinking of a collision model. But what could these trails and bumpers represent in bumper turtles? It could just be signs on a road or the way a trail goes. So the order of the blocks absolutely 100% matters. So make sure that you put them in the right order. If it doesn't work, try a different order. And remember what a conditional is. A conditional is making sure something's going to happen if something else happens. So it's the cause and effect. That's conditional. And that, my friends, is pretty much it. Go do your lesson 5 reflection. Turn in your screenshot of your final turtle code, and you're good to go.